Hello everyone, I hope you're doing alright. Today I want to quickly talk about the state of SWTOR. Now this is not going to be a doom and gloom video. There are plenty of videos out there that do a very good job of saying that the game is not in a good spot right now, and frankly I don't necessarily disagree. However, if you want to keep beating that dead horse, I'm sure you can and get like 100,000 views. That's totally fine, but that's not what I'm necessarily interested in. I want to have a conversation over a couple of videos about what we could do to help make the game better. We all know that it's not great right now, but what could we do to help the game along, especially when you reach the end? Because the stories are as good as ever, right? The original 8 core storylines are prime BioWare writing. It's really solid. It'll keep drawing in players, but once they reach the end game, there's just not much to do, or the game does a good job of telling you how to find people to do content with. So what can we do realistically to help improve the player experience? And the thing I want to talk about in this video actually comes down to this video, or this window right here, the activity finder. Now on the surface level, the activity finder is okay, but if you're looking for groups, it can be a little frustrating. For example, I play DPS, which means that if I want to play Master Mode Flashpoints, I'm going to sit here and click on Join Queue, and then I'll be here for the next 30 minutes. And then maybe I'll get a hammer station. That's not necessarily a satisfying experience. And that's only for Master Mode Flashpoints. That's not counting the Story Mode Operations queue, in which I have never successfully gotten to pop organically. The only time I've ever seen it pop is when people make the full 8-man groups and then get the rewards through Group Finder. That's just the God's honest truth. I've never been patient enough to wait for 8 people to queue with the right roles to get it to pop for me. I just haven't. And there's a couple of reasons for this. For one, it doesn't give you an expected wait time. It doesn't tell you where you are in the queue. It doesn't tell you how long you should anticipate sitting here running around doing other things in order to actually find a group. But that's only with the group finder system. You also have the option of using general chat kind of as like your pug finder, right? If you want to find people in the game, you're gonna have to come to general chat and say, all right, I want to find 2 tanks, 2 healers, 3 DPS for SMDF, and then hope people respond to you. But there's a small issue with this in that most people playing MMOs are antisocial nerds who really are not a fan of like leading the charge and generating that social interaction. So it kind of leaves the onus to the players to go out and seek pug groups, which isn't necessarily what they're very good at. Additionally, this is only targeting people that are on fleet. This isn't targeting people who are in their strongholds, who are out in the galaxy, who might see the advertisement, and like if you're on Droman Costs or if you're on, like, you know, a CZ doing your dailies, etc., you won't see the advertisement in general. Now, some people will post in, for example, allies chat. There are some channels that are more like PvE pugging focused, but there's just not really a good way to go out and find groups at a high level. But there's also not a good way to find groups for like low-end content. If you are a lowbie leveling through the first time and you come across a heroic that is way above your skill level, it's kind of tricky to find people to group up with to conquer that heroic, right? The game doesn't do a good job of helping to connect you with other players to go complete content. Especially in the leveling experience, if we can encourage players to actually like connect and meet people and make that experience seamless for them, it would be really helpful. Now there is a system that I have in mind, but I need to go and swap games real quick in order to show off why I think it's really, really useful. So like 2 seconds. Now I'd like to introduce you to a pretty popular game known as World of Warcraft, which has done a phenomenal job of encouraging pugging by using the group finder. Group Finder is pretty fantastic if you want to find any form of content. A lot of times that dailies will pop up and you can find groups by just doing the dailies. So for example, if I come down here, I want to find groups from War or Death, I can just get down here, find a group. Oh, there's a group forming right now. I can sign up and get an invite right away, so that way I can clear harder content without having to go through the whole social structure. Oh, I have an invite. Fortunately for them, I'm never showing up. However, you can see why it'd be pretty convenient to have group finders be built into the actual platform. Now, that's only if I want to go out and find harder difficulties, but if you imagine that for like a heroic system, so you can say, hey, find a group to complete your Corellia heroics with, that'd be pretty convenient, wouldn't it? Additionally, this works for all of the raids and all of the dungeons as well. For example, if we want to find a Mythic Plus group here, I don't have to go through the whole social structure of typing in general chat or typing in guild chat and saying, hey, does anyone want to come pug some keys with me? No. This takes away the entire process. So that way, if I want to run like a plus 15 or a plus 25, I have the option to do that. There's also like low stuff running. Like if I want to run a plus 7 just to get a weekly done and get some, extra gear at the end of the week, I can totally do that here. It's pretty darn convenient. It's an easy way to meet players without having to go through the whole social structure. This also works in PvP. If you want to find Arena's partners, you come over here to Arenas and you say, oh, look at all these people who are willing to queue up with me and do some Arena nonsense with. It takes away one of the barriers to entries to group content, and that's the whole social structure, and makes it very, very easy to meet people and to group up and to complete the content that you're actually looking to do. All right? Now, I'm not saying that we need to steal the group finder outright. Like, we can call it the buddy friendship system. All right? That way it's not stealing, but if we implemented something similar to help ease people into the concept of pugging content, so that way they can actually complete the content they want to do, I think it would be a very beneficial thing to put into the game. Now, I'm not saying this is going to solve everything. Obviously, it's not going to. There's plenty of stuff wrong with SWTOR, but I think this would be a nice stepping stone into moving into the right direction to help keep players around once they complete those 8 stories and reach the end game. So that's one thing I'd like to see implemented into SWTOR. That's just me, though. Let me know down in the comments section below if you'd like to see anything else. Otherwise, like and subscribe, share your videos, I guess. And that's all I have. So, bye now.